So it's the Grape Explorer talking about today. So we are back to another favorite area of mine, Italy. Look at the size of this crazy place. Italy has more grapes that grow here than any other place on the planet. And the reason why, too, because a lot of them are indigenous and they never actually leave Italy. So it's kind of cool to try different grapes here because it almost like you can just jet right to Italy and you go right to the heart of the vineyard when you taste a lot of different wines, but we've got one here today. So this is a wine from Umbria, and as you zoom in on it, you can see that it's from an area called Spoleto, and it is a Trebbiano Spolentino. And what's interesting about this grape is when I was importing Italian wines, I actually brought in Trebbiano, but it was from Abruzzi, which, you know, was in those days, I had to be convinced that Trebbiano was an interesting grape. And so I had a very interesting tasting one time in Abruzzi with one of the top producers there of Trebbiano, and those wines were just unbelievable, and I could not believe it. So when I saw this, I had to really talk about it because I had never really had one from the area of Umbria. Or you know, what's famous there, and we've talked about this before, is Orvieto, which is a famous white wine, and then Grechetto grape is also the predominant grape there. So, but when you look at this area right here with this, it's called Spoleto, this producer right here really goes out of his way to identify where this Trebbiano comes from. And this guy, I read a little bit about the story of this Antonelli. This right here, the producer's name, this is how you read an Italian label. So this is the name of the family, Antonelli, and it's called Trebbiano, which is the cuvée, and then it's called Spoleto here, which is the area, and this is the grape, Trebbiano Spolentino. But it's a DOC, so there's you know, it's got to go through all the rules and all the regulations. So you can see the cap right here. This identifies that it's a DOC. And that is, you know, the guarantee that it's coming from this area. And the grapes, you know, have to come from this area to be called this grape varietal. But this producer is kind of interesting because he does not like the grape Grechetto, which is obviously all around him. So that is the most important grape that grows in this area. But, you know, looking at the map here, and we can see all the way up, and you can see where Umbria is right here. This is where Spoleto is right here. So I can kind of put my little pinky here. You've got the Marche right here, and right across is Spoleto. So it's a very tiny area. Nobody really knows these wines. But, you know, again, this is why I'm trying to do this, because do you really want me to talk about Pinot Grigio? I mean, I can do that. We can talk about Pinot Grigio, and I love and adore Pinot Grigio, but these are the wines that are like, I call the Rodney Dangerfield of Italy. They get no respect, because nobody really cares about Trebbiano. But I'm here to tell you, this wine is absolutely delicious. And it's got, look at the color of it. This is 2022. And again, this is pure Trebbiano. And when you smell this wine, you get a lot of that orchard kind of fruit right off the bat, which is just fabulous. And let's just throw some pears in there. But you do get a lot of that stone kind of fruit. And that's what I always look for. I have to have that fruit, and then I have to have some other dimension to the wine for me to say, okay, this is a really interesting wine. Because if I just get a fruity wine, it's going to be maybe 85 points on my Richter scale, though, which is, you know, not an interesting wine. But when I start smelling something that's got stone fruits and things like that, that elevates it and puts it into that 90 range, which I think, okay, this merits a really high score. But when you just smell it, it's just a beautiful, like the pears, it's just very exotic. Let's taste it. It's got a beautiful backbone of acidity, lovely balance. You do get that whetstone kind of acidity in the back, but this is an absolutely stunner of a wine. And again, I'm looking for value like the world is looking for value. This wine is under 20 bucks a bottle. This is like $15 or $16 a bottle for an extraordinary bottle of wine. And this is pasta. I mean, I can just, even seafood pasta, I mean, clams and, you know, anything that's got fish or any type of seafood or chicken, but this is a beautiful bottle of wine. Again, this is the Grape Explorer. I'm always trying to explore areas. Look at that beautiful area of Umbria that a lot of people don't really recognize and pay attention to. And again, you know, look at the size of Italy. We can talk thousands of wines from this area, but I wanted to spend time with this one and share it with you. Cheers.